Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the first installment of fly tying how-tos, focusing on steelhead flies. And first up is my absolute favorite egg pattern, Jeff Blood's Blood.Egg. Hope you guys enjoy. Please leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, today we're going to be tying Jeff Blood's Blood.Egg. First thing we're going to do is get a hook in the vise. Get this guy out of there, get a hook in the vise. So today I'm going to be tying on a Altoona Curvy number 14, and I'm going to be using 8/0 uni thread in fire orange. So I'm going to go ahead and start my thread. A couple of wraps and I'll snip off my tag here. And then from here I just want to bring my thread back to where a barb would be if this was a barbed hook. I usually only really tie on barbless hooks, although I have been tying a few of these on barbed hooks. So, and then as far as egg, my base color is going to be the Oregon cheese of glow bug yarn. So I'm gonna cut off a little stretch of it, and then to get the appropriate length, I'm going to take it. Not appropriate length, appropriate width. Otherwise, if I just put all this yarn on there, it'd be way too bulky for the fly. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut it in half, pull that away, and then I'm going to put it in half again. And then that's the perfect amount there. I do like the fibers to be relatively lined up on the end, so I'm just going to take a quick cut there and straighten those, and then I'm going to do a pinch wrap, secure that down with one, and I usually do 2, 3, 4, and then rest my thread right there. I don't always do this, but I do like to trim this little mohawk here sometimes. Clean that up, and then in order to shape my egg, I use the back of my whip finish tool. You could use a bodkin as well. Mine has glue all over it so it doesn't slide in and out, as you'll see very easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this forward. I'm going to put the back of that in there and just kind of pull it back a little bit and kind of make this little loop. You could do it without. You can just kind of push it back and then pull it forward and catch all the fibers. I'm a little OCD. So I do that, hold that there, and I grab it with the other hand, keeping pressure. And then I'm going to put 1 down, 2 down right over top, and then 3. Sometimes I'll lift this up, just give this a little pull to stack those wraps. For the most part, that's secured down with 3 wraps there. And then I'm going to take that, pull that back, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do it again. Now this one, you want it to taper, because eventually, even though you're putting these little loops in there, it's going to make a circle once it gets wet. You know, the real magic of any fly is when it gets wet. So this one I'm going to make a little bit bigger, almost pulling it back so it comes back to the same distance. We'll let that go. Oh, I didn't switch hands. Grab that guy. 1 soft one, then 1, 2 more. Pull that up. Now I have this nice little back here, nice little tuft in the back, and now I'm going to put in my blood dot, which is the exact same thing, kind of a fourth of that egg yarn. And now with this, I'm going to try to get this just to the end here. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of a tuft on the right side, and then most of the blood dot's going to come from what I leave hanging on the left side, as we'll see later when we cut it. Here and there. So I'm going to quickly pinch wrap that down. Just 3 there. I'm just going to let that hang back, pull this forward. 1, 2, 3. And And then this last one is going to be the biggest one. So I kind of pulled that, and I kind of give that a little check there. And then I'll also just take my fingers and flare it a little bit to make sure I'm going to get kind of a flare. I want that to kind of like flare all the way around that orange. So I just check that quick. Switch hands, and always when I switch hands on this last one, I always pull this up a little bit. And then I cinch that down. 1, 2, 3. Pull this guy back. I usually leave a lot extra right here at the front. On these alternative curvies, on the other ones I don't leave as much. So that's there. You can just throw down some extra thread. I'd take some super glue. And my super glue. When my super glue is not welded shut, I will put super glue and then do 3 or 4 wraps or get all that super glue. And then I do 2 3-turn whip finishes. Just like that. I'm going to snip my thread. And then I'm going to pull this yellow forward, nice and tight. And then I use my hook eye here as like a level, and I kind of make an angle. I make an angle between the hook eye and the top of that egg right there. So I cut that nice and tight there. That's kind of like your 4th little taper. This kind of back tapers it down to complete that circle. Pull this up tight. Try to cut that flush with the rest of the egg. And then you get this nice egg-shaped fly. And when it gets wet, all these are going to melt together. It's going to look just like a steelhead egg.